Hi, I'm Dr. Betsy Greenleaf here with another episode of Body, Mind, Spirit. As part of our spring cleaning, we're going to be talking with Dr. Judy Seeger. She is a naturopath. She is a world expert on detox, international speaker, and an author. Thank you, Dr. Seeger, for being with us today.
Thanks, Dr. Greenleaf. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to reach all these people and help them on many, many levels. So I'm super excited to be here. Love your stuff, love everything you do, and we get to share some time with the viewers. Oh, this will be fun.
You know what? I'm really interested in everyone's backstory, and I actually read your backstory a little bit about how did you get involved in detox?
Yeah, if you read my backstory, you know, I was the pizza queen back in the day. I would literally sit down as a teenager and eat a whole pizza by myself with a big quart thing of Coca-Cola. Horrible. It was just terrible. And of course, I was sick all the time, right? But it was just the way, you know, it was like nobody really thought about diet and disease and diet and pain and diet and anything. We just ate whatever. And so I started doing that, and I love pizza. I was addicted. I could eat it every single day. And then I was eating junk. I was not really taking care of myself because I didn't know. And then I started really getting sick. And I was sick all throughout my teens, my 20s, my 30s, and finally came to the conclusion of what it takes to really be well. And it wasn't including pizza, unfortunately. So that, and then I had three family members who died of stomach cancer, and then my grandfather who died of lung cancer. And I just got word that a cousin at 45 years old got diagnosed with cancer in my family. So very, very prevalent. And I'm like, oh, what is this diet, food thing with disease and cancer? Is there a connection? And of course there is. And I realized, yeah, no, I got to change that. It was not easy, but we'll talk about some fun, quick tips that will make it easier. But the bottom line is there's connections in everything we do, feel, think, eat, and we have to put that together. So that's really where I'm coming from. I'm concerned about my background, my family, of course, concerned about everybody else out there, don't want them to go down that same path. And of course, saying, hey, there's some things that you could do that is not that hard once you know what it takes to get it on the right track.
You know, why do we have to detox?
Right. So the detox is because your five elimination detoxification organs, which are your kidneys, your skin, your colon, your liver, you know, your lymphatics, are all part of this detoxification system. Any medical doctor will tell you that. However, when your organs are not really operating fully the way they should, then it starts piling up. So kind of think of like, you know, your sink full of dishes. You just made this wonderful dinner. You have all these dishes and cups and silverware piled up. Are you going to leave it till the next day and then think you're going to make another meal and another meal and another meal? No, you're going to have to clean out eventually. You could hide it in the dishwasher, but even so, you're going to have to clean it out, right? So same thing in the body. If you keep piling it up, if the toxins that are coming in, whether that's through the water that you're drinking, whether it's through the air that you're breathing, there's pollution all over, the foods that you're eating, doesn't matter. Toxins are coming on a daily basis. And I believe God made it so that our organs are naturally supposed to detox that, which is what the medical profession will say as well. The challenge is too much coming in, too much stress coming in. Now the toxins are piling up like those dirty dishes, and your body really can't do what it's supposed to do. It can't have the immune system so high to keep these diseases away. I mean, why is it the last 10 years cancer has gone up and up and up? Why is autoimmune up and up and up? Why are the kids getting sick? Up and up, disease, disease, disease. We just can't keep up with the amount of toxins coming in. So I believe that there are times that you need to detox. So I also follow scriptural principles where, like in the Old Testament, Daniel had his day of fasting, right? He had those days, and he came up with this little program, right? It's just a simple way of doing the Daniel fast, right? That's just one way. There's many, many ways to detox, of course, now, and that are simple. But I have found that if we take breaks, sometimes some people they take like one day a week, sometimes once a month. I believe this change of the seasons for a few days, take a break, give your body that rest, let your body get rid of those excess toxins. your energy goes up, you start sleeping better, the pain goes down, and then the disease or the chronic condition that you might be struggling with, even that starts going down because your immune system goes up. So I have found in 30 years, detox is the way to go. It is easy to do. It's not hard. And in the beginning, you might get a little bit of reactions, although my people don't. But the challenge is that, oh, I got to set my mind. I'm going to do a detox, which is the first step. And then the second step is like, oh, okay, great. I'm going to do it. I'm going to clean house and I'm going to be just feeling energetic inside. And then sure enough, it happens. And that's the exciting part.
I think it becomes confusing, and I'm sure we're going to get into some of this, but you hear this word detox being thrown around all over the place. I'm sure if you Google it, you're going to get like 20 different sites with 20 different programs and products. So how do you choose, or how do you know where to start?
Yeah, there's so many products out there. You're so right. And they come in these little boxes and say 21-day detox. A lot of times those things have been sitting on the shelf for a long time. So I believe that God has given us herbs to help us heal. Herbs are medicine, foods are medicine, right? And so you want fresher herbs, right? So here's where to start. First things first is out of those 5 elimination organs that we have, the kidneys, colon, liver, skin, lungs, all those, you need to decide where to start. And then you decide which products you need. And then, of course, the food is part of that. So it's super simple. First things first, always, always, always start with your colon. So just to show everybody, and again, these companies are not paying me. It's just I'm here to help people, right? So there's something called psyllium, right? Psyllium husk. This is the company that I've been using for a long time. And it's just a herb that you mix in water. It's kind of like people know about Metamucil, but this is a little bit stronger. And you mix it in water and you drink it down. What does it do? It gives you the fiber that your body needs to get the colon, because the colon is 5 feet long, roughly. And that large colon, that large intestine, ends up somewhere along the line getting plugged up. When I had my clinic years ago in Green Bay, Wisconsin, I would have people bring in their x-rays of their back, or I don't know, they would get x-rays of different things. And I started seeing a pattern of their colon. And I said, what are these little tiny, they look like vitamins stuck in your colon. And I'm like holding up and I'm showing them, look, there's like a choo-choo train. There's like 5 of them in here. And they said, oh, well, I take vitamins every day. I was like, they're stuck in here. And so we would do a 7-day colon detox. And they were like, I can't believe how good I feel. Oh my goodness. And this was part of it, is doing the fiber to get that moving. The next one is you got to keep the peristalsis of the colon moving. So there's something like this, which is just Cascara sagrada, different type of herbs that get the colon moving and get the toxins out. Now, here's why this is so super important, and very few people teach this because nobody wants to talk about poop, right? But it works because as it goes and cleans out the colon, then as the toxins start to release, like your liver starts to release, or maybe your kidneys or whatever, it has a clear avenue to go down through the colon. If it doesn't, and your colon is backed up, in other words, if you're not having a bowel movement every single day and a good bowel movement, it wants to come out. And that means you're going to be puking and nauseous and headachy and dizzy, and bleh. It's not a fun feeling, right? So we don't want that. Or sometimes even it'll come out in skin. Like a lot of times people I work with cancer who have had chemo, when they're doing a detox, it'll come out through the skin and they get rashes everywhere. And again, it's just a fast way for the body to get rid of it. But if you do the colon and it cleans it out and it has a way to release, you don't get any of that. You don't get the headaches, the nausea, the pukey feeling, none of that, right? It's just a matter of, okay, let's give it a clear avenue to release, and then the body feels better. So colon is number 1 place to start, right? And number 2 is the liver, right? And everybody's like, well, why the liver? Well, this little 3-pound organ located on the right side underneath your right rib cage, it does a lot. The scientists have found out already there's like 500 functions. When I started, it was like we only knew about 100. And so it's really exciting that it's like, oh, the liver does all these different things, everything from our energy with glucose all the way to digesting fat, to filtering toxins. It does many, many, many different things, right? So very simple. Here's my demo for you guys. Here, a lemon, right? So, and this is a nice ripe lemon. You see that? It's very ripe. It's got a nice, like, it's not white or green or anything like that. You take a half of this and you squeeze it into water, and then you drink it throughout the day. So maybe like a quart of water. This lemon is gold in so many ways, because when the liver gets a little bit of something to help digest, then it starts releasing the toxins nice and slow. And then it goes through the colon, and then you start feeling better. I've had people start saying, oh my gosh, my skin is better, my eyes are brighter, my hair is better, I'm sleeping better, just by doing these little things. There's obviously more, but that's a very simple place to start. Colon, liver. Let's get the two combined doing that, and then you can start working on the other issues that are happening that are causing things like cancer or autoimmune disease.
You know, it's interesting because these are some things that I was never taught in traditional medicine, but I see this all the time in my women in my clinic. Is everyone complains of constipation. I mean, to the point where they may be going sometimes a week before they're having bowel movements. And, you know, the questions, they're like, wait a minute, I'm eating. Where's all that food going if it's not coming out? And the other thing was brought up to me, which I never knew, because like I said, we're not taught this in traditional medicine, is how that really affects specifically for women, their hormone metabolism if you're constipated. So
big time. Yeah, I had a beautiful young woman, a friend of mine, 20s, late 20s. She was going to our church, and she was thin, like a model. I mean, just gorgeous. And she came up to me because she knew I was in this, and she's like, I haven't had a bowel movement for maybe like 6 weeks. What do I do to get things going? Because I'm not comfortable. And she was, her belly, you know, it was bloated. She wasn't feeling good. I said, 6 weeks, holy cow. Well, what happens is that 6 feet of large intestine, it gets impacted. You could have anything from diverticuli to stricture to polyps, all different kinds of things, but it could pack up quite a bit in that 6 feet, 5 feet of colon. And so I started working with her and telling her, you know, let's take the psyllium, let's change the food, let's do all these different things. And she did, but it was really hard in the beginning, because 6 weeks is 6 weeks, right? And it's just, you know, you gotta work on some level. And you're absolutely right. If you don't work on it, it affects the hormones, and you feel irritable and grumpy and not comfortable because it's pushing on those other organs. It's constricting the power of the liver to be moving properly and all this stuff. So it's super important. You're never going to get it totally clean. I mean, let's get serious. I mean, especially, you know, you go to a family's house, barbecue, you're going to have a picnic, you're going to have holidays, you're going to eat some things that are, you know, not on your dietary plan, which is fine. Just make sure that you are like, okay, if I haven't had a bowel movement for a day, I better do something to get it going. So we'll talk more about that and figure out what that takes. But the bottom line is, it's not that hard, and they have to make the connection. Colon, liver, give them a big heads up on helping with their health.
great. And we're going to take a commercial break, but then we'll be back with some more Dr. Judy Seeger. 80% of women will develop a pelvic health condition at some point in their lives. There is relief. There is hope. The Pelvic Floor Store, your resource for personal health. And we're back now with Dr. Judy Seeger talking about spring cleanup detox, how to get your body in tip-top shape. Thank you, Dr. Seeger. So, we were talking about the colon and the liver. What other things can we be looking into to kind of get that new, fresh self?
Yeah, so the next two biggest things, of course, which affects all health conditions, whether it's chronic, acute, cancer, autoimmune, is the stress levels, right? And I know you address that all the time. Well, here's the thing that I thought was very, very interesting. You know, God is love, and we need to love each other. But when we're stressed out, we don't feel love. We don't feel the love. And so it's super important that when you're eating, when you're going through your day, that the stress levels stay down as far as you could keep it down. Because here's what's very interesting. I love pH stuff. And what happens is when you look on the scale of foods that are very acid and foods that are very alkaline, we're always told keep foods in the alkaline area, meaning your fresh produce, your foods that are not very acidic, because that'll make you feel healthier, right? And the acid foods are processed food, sugar, soda, that kind of stuff. On the emotional scale, it's very interesting. Love, kindness, gratitude are very alkaline. When you start getting into the grumpies and not being happy, irritable, angry, bitter, that's very acid. And so when we are stressed out because we're not sleeping well, because we're worried, because we're not taking care of ourselves, we are actually making our body more acid. So no matter what foods you eat, so for example, a really great food, again, another demo. This is my Polish sauerkraut. You could get this anywhere, right? It doesn't matter. But sauerkraut is a great fermented food, excellent for the gut, excellent to make you feel good, and you can mix it with anything. And that makes your body more alkaline and it helps your gut, helps the digestion. It's wonderful. Same thing though, even if you eat something so good like sauerkraut, if you're not in a happy place or you're worried and stressed out, you just got off the phone talking to your husband and you got mad, and then you eat, it's going to become acid in your body, right? So even if you eat organic foods and keto and vegan and paleo, doesn't matter, I found. You got to be in a calmer place. I in fact tell people, I said, go have a little, lemon water, have a cup of tea, go relax, breathe, get yourself away, then come back and eat. Because that really does make a difference. You want to have that, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna calm myself down, breathe a little bit. Those emotions make a big difference. The other correlation, Dr. Rieker Hamer did a massive study on when his son died, and he was looking to see what can I do to get through this and grieving process. He never did. He was a medical doctor, and we're always tough helping people and not taking care of ourselves. And so he didn't. He did not grieve, and he ended up with testicular cancer a year later. Decided emotionally he's going to deal with this. It was hard, right? It's never easy, but he dealt with it. The cancer went away. I said, really? It went away, yeah. And he then took it to his clinic and did 20,000 people and started seeing correlations. So liver, for example, is associated with anger. So when there's a lot of anger going on in your life and you're just, road rage and you're mad at the coworkers and all that, it's affecting the liver, right? So you could have your lemons and sauerkraut and all these wonderful foods, but if you're not dealing with it, the liver gets affected, your body becomes more acid. Now diseases like cancer, autoimmune disease can come in. The hormones start getting wacky. Everything starts going off because that deep emotional root is not being taken care of. Gallbladder is bitterness, right? Kidney is being, well, we're allowed to say this, but pissed off, right? Right. Yeah. So it's these correlations. Dr. Hamer, one of the few people, you could look him up, really show that there's a correlations with the organs, the emotions, and then the foods are all mixed in that. So that's why I think it's important to detox. Detox is that time where, let me take a rest. Let me just focus on me. Just take a couple of days, take the food away, and then you could regroup. It's so important to regroup, right?
I think that's so important because I know as a physician, I end up getting so focused on the body. And that's part of the why the show is body, mind, spirit, because like you said, you could be eating the perfect diet. You could be working out. You could be doing everything right for your body. But if you're not doing things to nourish your mind and your spirit, you're not going to be healthy.
Right.
So
it's that whole combination. Yeah. I just, as a practitioner for many years, like you, it's, the pattern that you see is that you could tell people, because people want to, hey, what's a supplement I could take? Isn't there a vitamin I could take to get more energy? Isn't there a vitamin that could help my immune system? Yeah, it's a supplement. It's going to help. And so is even if it's herbs, even whatever. But I just find that the emotional, spiritual component is such a big part of it. And it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I have found that when you deal with stuff and you just start learning some steps every single day to take care of yourself, it just comes into line so much faster than anything else out there.
And that's the challenging part that I find with patients because, yeah, they want a quick fix. They want a pill. And when you deal with the mind and the spirit, that's something that I can't give that to you. That's something that you have to find yourself. And for some people, that may be, that may be sitting in meditation, that may be prayer, that may be doing good for somebody else. So, there's so many options out there, but you really need to look into yourself and figure out what's going to nourish that part of my body. So,
Yeah, exactly. The thing is that people need to get out in nature more. I tell them, I says, I don't care what time of year it is, just get out and just enjoy it. Get yourself, looking at the sky, the trees, that kind of stuff is very easy. Get an accountability partner, get into some support groups. Get into where, if you're not motivated to do that because it is scary, then you got to get in with somebody who is willing to hold you accountable to get you the results that you need. Because like you say, it's very frustrating working with people, sadly, that keep suffering and they don't have to. Now, are there natural therapies that I use, and I know you use, that could get people, hey, I'm a level 10, I could get you down to level 2. That's not hard. I'm actually very good at that. I'm sure you are too. But it comes back if you're not willing to deal with the root issues. So understand this, to bring the pain down is not that hard. Detoxing is part of it, changing the food, calming down, that's all good. But if you don't go to the root and really look at it and deal with it on some level, it will come back. And then a lot of times what I see, especially working with people with cancer, is that it comes back tenfold, right? And metastasizes, it's all over, and then the pain is crazy, and they're really suffering. And it's because they thought, oh, I'm just going to do these therapies and that'll help. I'm just going to do detox and that'll help. I'm like, yes, it'll take it to a certain level, but you really got to look at the root issues of why you got in the first place, deal with that, and now it never comes back.
So what other areas that can people improve their lives with detox?
And well, so the biggest thing is the sleep. I see a lot of people with sleep issues. They're not sleeping well. And what I've learned is that if they cleanse out with the colon, cleanse out the liver, take the time to clean all their system out and their elimination organs, that they start sleeping better, right? Now, again, you got to be careful what you go back to, but the deal is when you clean out on a regular basis, like every 3-4 months, then the sleep gets better, the skin definitely gets better. I get these young kids, 20 and 30-year-olds now, getting psoriasis, eczema, all these different things, and it's because their body is not able to eliminate the toxins fast enough as they're putting in. The hair gets better, the whole energy, like there's a shifting, like it's very hard to explain. It's like you're chronically fatigued and you're like, get up tired and you think a coffee is going to do it. It never does. And then you try smoothies. Oh, I'm going to do some energy smoothies and get that going. No, that doesn't work either. It will for a while, but really what I've learned is if you're detoxing on a regular basis, then your body is now, okay, good. Get rid of the toxins, the immune system comes up, the energy goes up, libido goes up, everything starts going up to that level where, you know what, I'm feeling good. There's like a level you get to where the energy is not going to be like you're in your 20s, hello, right? It's going to be higher than it was, and you're not going to be suffering so much with like, oh, I'm just dragging. It's amazing. I mean, you keep thinking, I go back to the dishes, if those dishes are sitting in the sink, and if you leave them in there for a few days, they start getting stinky. Well, if you have bad breath in the morning, or even when you're having bad movements, everything is stinky, that's not a good sign. It means you're really imbalanced. So clean it out, get your skin, get your hair, get your sleep, your energy, all that could benefit from by having a really good detox.
So where can people find out more about detoxing and more about you?
Yeah, so I'm all over the internet. I have about 3 million viewers on YouTube now. I've got, yeah, just a name. I've been doing it for a long time because I want to help people. So you look up my name, Judy Seeger, and then Detox. JudySeegerDetox.com is my website. Got lots of information in there specifically for people with cancer. But then on my YouTube channel, got lots and lots of videos to help people detox from their liver, gallbladder, kidney, all different kinds of stuff is on there, and they're welcome to go on there and learn. That's what it's all about.
Well, I want to thank you again so much for being with us today and sharing all your wisdom. This has been amazing. And I'd like to thank our listeners and our viewers. And that if you enjoyed the information that you've heard today on WYTV7 Christian Broadcasting Network, then if you feel moved, take the time to go to our website at wytv7.org and donate to help support other programs like this. Also, if you'd like to find more information about me, you can go to drbetsygreenleaf.com. And if you have a question that you want us to ask for our future shows or to post an answer in one of our social media posts, you can write to me at askbetsy@doctor.com. Follow me on social media. You can look for me at Dr. Betsy Greenleaf or Dr. B Greenleaf on many of the different social medias. So I'd like to once again thank you, Dr. Seeger, for being with us today. And also thank you for our viewers and listeners.
Thank you.